Money is a bad goal. Here is why. Let's go, friends. Lesson number 9. Money is a bad goal. Wait, don't leave. I am not saying money doesn't matter. I am saying something different. When money becomes your main goal, you start moving, just in the wrong direction, and today I'll explain why, with real examples. No fluff. Picture a person. Starts a business. Burns with an idea. The first years, pure joy. Work gave energy, meaning, drive. He woke up every morning knowing why he was going in, not because he had to, because he wanted to. Then came the obligations, rent, employees, loans, and slowly the focus shifted. Not sharply, not in one day, gradually. First he thought about numbers a little more. Then, only about numbers. Now, he wakes up with one question. Where do I find money for this month? He works, earns, keeps moving. But one day he catches himself thinking he doesn't even remember why he started, what inspired him, what he wanted to change. That's the trap. When money is your goal, the brain switches into survival mode. All energy, all attention, all creativity goes toward one thing. Close out the month, pay off the debt, don't drown. And you know what's the scariest part? This mode pulls you in. First, 1 month, then a year. Then it's just your life. You stop building, you patch, you stop growing, you hold on. And most importantly, you stop seeing opportunities that don't pay money right now. Everything that doesn't bring income today feels useless. Long-term projects, relationships, personal growth, all of it slides to the back and then disappears completely. Psychologists call this a scarcity mindset. A person in this state doesn't build, he patches, doesn't look forward, clings to today, and every single day goes not toward becoming better, but toward simply staying in place. This isn't life. It's running in place with the feeling that you are incredibly busy. So what do? Choose a problem. Stop thinking about how to make money. Ask yourself a different question. What problem in this world do you want to solve? That is your mission. Sounds pretentious? I get it. But let's break it down concretely. One person notices that small businesses don't die from a lack of ideas. They die from an inability to build systems, chaos instead of process. People with fire in their eyes who shut down within a year because they don't know how to manage a team, finances, clients. And this person decides, that's my problem, that's what I am going to fix. Another sees that millions of people live in chronic stress and have neither the tools nor the understanding of how to deal with it. And that becomes his field. Everything he does revolves around this. A third realizes that kids in his city don't have access to real education. Not because there are no schools, but because nobody teaches them how to think, how to learn, how to not be afraid of making mistakes. Everyone has their own problem, their own mission. And once that problem is chosen, the interesting part begins. Everything starts to come together. A random book in a store turns out to be exactly about this. A conversation at a party leads to the right person. An article you stumble across gives you the idea you've been searching for a month. There is a thought. The whole world is a library for the person who knows what they're looking for. That's exactly how this works. A mission turns the chaos of incoming information into a system. You start seeing connections where before there was only noise. Your videos, your writing, your products, your conversations, everything starts working in one direction. Not because you planned it that way, but because you have a filter, and that filter is your mission. Now, here is an important point that most people miss. I am not saying, forget about money. Money matters. Money will come. It just comes as a result, not as a goal. 2 people open a cafe. The first thinks, how do I earn the maximum from every customer? The second thinks, how do I make sure that the people who come to me leave in a better mood than when they arrived? Both want money. Both work hard. But the second one builds atmosphere, menu, service, and a genuine relationship with every guest around his idea. He thinks about people, not the bill. 3 years later, the first one is still counting receipts and complaining about competition. The second one is opening a second location because there is a line out the door. Because people feel the difference. They always do. You see what I mean? A mission creates something that can't be bought and is hard to copy. A deep understanding of your audience, genuine interest in what you do, and energy that doesn't run out after the first difficult quarter. And finally, the most important part, it's hardest to think about your mission exactly when everything is falling apart. When income drops, when obligations grow, when here is pressure from every direction and you are just trying to hold on to what you have. In moments like these, any talk about mission and meaning sounds like a cruel joke. I understand that, but that's precisely when this question matters most. Not because it will magically solve your financial problems. It won't. But it won't let you fully retreat into survival mode and stay there forever. It keeps the horizon in front of your eyes, even when you are knee-deep in today's problems. People who've been through serious crises, loss of income, debt, personal hardship all at once, often say the same thing. They kept doing at least something in the direction of their goal even during the hardest months. Not much. Sometimes barely anything. But they kept going. And that became the point they pushed off from. A mission is not a motivational poster. It's an anchor. So, the lesson is simple. Working for money, that's fine. Sometimes there is no other way. But if that's your only goal for years ahead, you're in a trap, and sooner or later you'll feel it. Ask yourself one question right now. What problem in this world would I want to solve? Not how to get rich, not how to achieve success, but exactly what isn't working and what would you want to change? The answer to that question is the beginning of a mission, and a mission is the beginning of everything else. Money, recognition, energy, meaning. All of it.